Welcome to the Rocklaz podcast. This is your host Tanmay Shah. Today we are going to talk to two spiritual scientists. One uses a telescope and one uses a microscope. How would you introduce yourself to somebody who doesn't know you?
I actually, together, we say that one works with the biggest of the biggest and one works with the smallest of the smallest. So I work in nanoscale and he works in the light year scale. So I work with DNA, he works with the universe. And personally, yeah, I am also a spiritual scientist, but I work with material science.
When we say spiritual scientist, it's actually same thing. One is asking the question that what is it, what is the objects are made up of, and then you extend little bit more and you say like who is seeing the object? Because if you are not there, then object also does not exist. In quantum science, that is what they say, that it is the observer which might be the more fundamental than the object. So when you ask this question, who is the observer? That is spirituality. So I think every scientist is spiritual and every spiritual seeker is a scientist.
And spirituality is something that uplifts the spirit, and science definitely uplifts the spirit. So I think all scientists are spiritual.
Can we dive in deeper into that? Because science seeks evidence and research and base, and it has to be verified by other people. How would you link that with spirituality?
So especially in the Eastern philosophy of spirituality, it is experience based. Experience is like an experiment you do within yourself, no? And suppose you fall in love, and that is an evidence that what is experience of love. That time you don't need to look for whether love exists or not, because you fall in love, you know that it is love and you experience it. And that's why the experiment is done outside in science and then verified through the data. And the experiment is always with the five senses, isn't it? You observe, you listen, and that is what. But spirituality is a little bit deeper beyond the five senses, that who is observing the five senses? In getting it? How do you have a conscious experience? That is what actually quantum scientists are asking. One of the topmost scientists, recently I was watching his podcast. He said, like, ultimate question comes down to this deep question that what does it mean to know something? When you say, I know it, who is knowing it? How do you know that you are knowing it? This is a very deep thing. And that where the spirituality and science merges. Basically, the science, it's an extension, So it's not at all anti-logic or anti-thing. But one thing is, in spiritual path, first you assume something and you don't discard. You meditate, you experience with yourself. Like many people have done it, many scientists also and seeker also. And then they say, wow, now I know it. And then they go back to the scripture and to check whether other seekers and saints have said the same thing or not. And they verify this, okay, then there is a high chance this is the truth. So that's how we first experience and match with that scripture. In science also, we start with an assumption. Okay, Newton told that. Okay, let us do that experiment. And if you get the right result, it's like, okay, Newton is right. So it's the same way. Getting it?
And also sometimes like you go to a doctor and say, I have a stomach ache. And the doctor says, prove it. Okay, 5 tests you do, but you don't find a reason for the stomach ache. Still you have a stomach ache. How do you prove it? Your experience speaks 1,000 times more than all the experiments you are doing, taste and this and that, right? Same way, like when I know sugar, the crystal structure, the chemical structure, I know everything. But when I put it in my mouth, a rasgulla, you put it in your mouth, that experience of rasgulla speaks 1,000 times more than the chemical structure of the rasgulla. So experience also has a lot of power.
Here I want to add one thing. If you really want to know Rasagolla, or like, the syrup sweet, beautiful taste in Bengal, ultimately the Rasagolla, the sugar ball with the cottage cheese has to merge with you. Then only you know what it is. So actual knowing is to merge with something. So if you want to know universe, you have to merge with the universe. And that is what Einstein also said, that let go the ego. And that process of letting go the ego, the opinion, unnecessary thoughts, when it subsides, you become still, then you start to know universe because you'll become one with the
Universe.
universe.
But our senses are limited, right? You cannot see nano with our eyes, or you cannot see the universe. So that you cannot experience it. How do you believe it then? How does science?
So it's a deep question. No, in science, that's why he said the other than the five senses, the intellectual knowledge, like you see the sun rises in the east, but you intellectually know from scientific theory that sun does not rise in the east, because the earth is rotating. So even if you are seeing whatever you are seeing, you don't believe it, because there is a above to senses, there is a intellect and evidence-based intellect. There is a prediction and you maths. That's what science. So sometimes your knowing does not need to be exactly five senses experiences. But when I say it before that experiencing universe, actually spiritual people don't say it is the five senses experience. It is something beyond the five senses.
Because five senses also has limitation, and experiment also has a boundary condition. Like suppose when older time telescope was not observed, or when it is just developed, you have a limit of the telescope, how far it can see. And then it become more powerful lens. And then you are getting to know more and more. But that doesn't mean what I don't see doesn't exist. Even after knowing everything the scientists say, he is an astrophysicist, so I came to know from him that 4% of the universe is known. 96% is unknown with all the latest technology. So what do you say? 96% doesn't exist? That's the utter stupidity. So we can only say science is a spoon with which we are measuring something as big as an ocean. So we cannot say we know everything about the ocean.
Does God exist?
then first question comes, what do you
What
mean
is
by
God?
what is God? Because every people, if you ask on the street, everybody has a different opinion about the God. What is God is. So first we have to see what you mean by God, and that itself is a discussion that what people mean by God. So it's a irrelevant question at some point, because the question is very abstract. Because once you don't know what it is, and you are asking whether it exists. Getting it? So the question is invalid. So based here, my suggestion is that everybody has that seeking beyond this pleasure and pain in life, because everybody sees that people are dying. At some point you have to let go. Then this is a natural question. I have asked so many people that even at some point of time they got this question that what is the purpose? Here I am just having fun for some times and then I am gone. I am just carbohydrate, amino acid, matter, or there is something there. That me in me, that I, is that just matter or something else? And then you start exploring. And that's why, when someone asked about God, asked whether God exists, about Buddha, I want to tell one story. One disciple of Buddha came and told I think there is no God. Then Buddha says, yes, you are right. Then he became so happy and he left. And then same day, another guy came in the evening. I think there is a God. There has to be, isn't it? And Buddha smiled and said, yes, you are right. And then Buddha didn't say anything, and that guy left happily. But then another person came some days later, said, I don't know whether there is God or what it is. I even don't know what I am seeking in life, whether there is some truth beyond it. Buddha said, okay,
You're also right.
you can come and stay with me. Then he became Buddha's concept. So that's what the openness and the exploration is the basis of spirituality as well as science. And then what God is, you will know one day if it at all exists. And once people say they know it, they don't speak about it.
But we can give you clue. For example, I, as a chemist, a material scientist, we mimic nature. We want to make things like, cell, artificial cell, how it functions. Even after doing everything, put everything together, we cannot induce life into it. Then who is doing that life into it? Something to wonder. Yes or no is not a yes-no question. But if you are intelligent enough, you know that there is a law behind everything. There is a law that is governing the universe. There is a law with finite precision moving the planets around the sun, moving the sun around the black hole, moving the entire universe with so much precision that we can sit here and ask this question even. Is there a God?
So sometimes people say that laws itself is divine. because otherwise there will be all chaos. There is no maintenance, Like if you leave from this room and I will come back after no maintenance, you'll see that there will be dust, there will be disorder. But somebody has to come
Entropy.
to mop it, to maintain it. So maintenance itself is intelligence.
And creation itself is
intelligence.
intelligence. And transformation is also
Also-
intelligence. So it is generator, it is operator, and it is destroyer. God.
That is God.
So you answered the question. As a scientist, what is your definition of God?
I think it is different for him and it is different for me.
Now let's hear it.
For me, it is the supreme intelligence that is governing this precision. See, in our life, we think we are in control. Like I am managing my mind, I am managing my finance, I am managing my relationship. At least this much is manageable. But think about your breath. The basis of life, are you managing? Then who is managing? The moment it stops, the topmost doctors also cannot bring it back. Then who is managing? So for me, this unknown, this supreme intelligence which is governing the show, with or without me, is something that is to be pondered about.
So you believe there is somebody who is operating and running the show and programming how things should work and how people should think?
For sure, for sure. Our error rate is so high, but see trillions of DNA in a human body. How many errors? In millions of creatures, how many errors? Universe is functioning. This is just one tiny planet in the entire universe. We don't even know how many planets where there is life. There is possibility. I cannot say it's not there.
Here I want to say one thing, that you said that there is somebody who is controlling this. Here there is in our Eastern philosophy, I learned it from my spiritual master. But one day I asked him the same question in New York when I was doing my PhD in Columbia University. I met him and I asked him. He said that, you see, waves appear in ocean. Ocean doesn't create waves separately from it. Ocean becomes wave. So here there is not somebody and you controlling you, that somebody become you. So you are that interest. So there is no two. So ocean became wave. And that's why wave, when realizes that what its true nature is, realizes as ocean. So that's why there is a saying that be still and know that you are divine. Getting it? And that's why for me the definition of God is explore yourself, that who is asking this question, what is God? Who are you? Otherwise, and then you see that consciousness, we know that we exist. Definitely. Everybody has that, but we don't know what it is actually. Very abstract. And then you go depth into it, and then you realize that you become the ocean. You are not just a wave. They call it like it's a jivatma merges with Paramatma, but it's very scientific, like a wave merging with ocean. Einstein also said exactly the same thing, that the purpose of human life is like to let go your me, I. That is the separation between you and divine. It is like a stick, when it is in the water, it bent. But it is not bent. It is an illusion. So like that, you exist separately from universe, that me, then you explore it and then that illusion disappear. You realize that there is only one thing. So you may call it God, or you may call it nature, you may call it law, you may call it a consciousness, or you may call it nothing.
Nothing also matters.
Getting it? So we give a talk called Nothing Matters. Getting it? Buddha called it nothing.
More like not intellectual understanding. We knew everything intellectually when we were growing up in Bengal. So many sayings and seers, but all photos were on the wall. I used to wonder, why are they not here right now when I am here? Why Ramakrishna is not here? Why Vivekananda is not here? And then suddenly life chose to give us this experience when we were struggling with life, PhD, away from home, and then things started to open up.
So that's why he said that all these things make sense only when you experience. Otherwise, it's just empty word. When like God, it has thousands of meaning. Like consciousness is that. So once people try to become still, that's why no need to I tell people, forget about what you believe or not. Is your mind calm? It is like Buddha said, You come to the kitchen and you'll know where is the rice, where is the atta, and where is the sugar. So come inside and you'll know what is there in the universe. Is ready to.
Our explaining God is like, we are having the rasagulla and we are telling you, and we are deaf and dumb people, we are explaining. But you have no experience of what we are experiencing. So, but I take a piece of rasagulla, put it in your mouth, that's it. I don't have to speak a word. Done.
Give the experience.
Giving the experience.
Then you know.
As a scientist, what is your definition of religion?
Religion, if you see, every religion starts with some prophet or enlightened master. The truth, definitely they have gone into the depth of the truth, but it is always so hard to express that inexpressible, and that's why there is different people has chose different ways to express that. But the problem is the source of all the religion is a deep experience. As a scientifically, I look into it. But the problem is when people are stuck with the outer rules and definition and this thing, and without experiencing, then you might get stuck with the opinion that this is what the right path, that is what the right path, this is what the right, my God is better than you, you don't reach God by looking at that. It all tells you that people has not explored the real juice of that. So you might go through any religion, but if you are open-minded and not stuck with your opinion, then, so for me, religion, ultimately all religion has to merge into humanity. Humanism, by masters. And that's beautiful, that any ism, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Judaism, if you go deep, it has to be humanism, I think.
Without that, no religion has any meaning.
You mentioned master. You also spoke about the frames on the wall and why they're not here. How would you explain guru and bhakti to somebody who is a very logical mind, who is very intellectually seeking, who needs evidence for everything? How would you explain God and Guru and Bhakti to somebody like that?
So,
it's like a baby is born in the mother's lap. The baby doesn't need to know the mother, to have faith in the mother, that will the mother take care of me and like that. So it happens, it doesn't happen intellectually. So Guru is something that happens. Even you resist it 1,000 times with all the concept that we grow up with, that, oh, my Guru, I don't believe in this. In fact, we are people who will run away from someone with long beard and white robes. But when Guru happened to us, it did not take our permission. It just happened so effortlessly, just like to fall in love. And that love pulled you, that's it. That's it. In spite of all our concepts, it just happened. Love happened.
And for people who are very logical and this thing, because some people has problem with following someone, no, especially in the present days, like we are all open-minded. Why I have to follow someone, and especially if that person is already in the living body. It is very easy to follow someone whose picture is on the wall. Okay, people see that, oh, that was the person who was glorifying, is amazing. But someone is in the present, we don't value it that much, because mind wants to glorify the past. It needs lot of intelligence and seeking to find a guide and to allow a guide to work on you. And as Banani said, that Guru is like when your time is right, universe finds someone to guide you through that unknown, and you have to have courage to go beyond that, follow your heart.
And even to know any subject, for example, I'm a chemist. To grow in chemistry, I need to find a guide who knows chemistry in and out, who can take me on the journey. Because I don't have to get stuck every step, because he has walked the path. And similarly, you imagine mind is so abstract. Our body is still tangible, but mind is so abstract. You definitely need a guide when you get stuck with the mind. The guide will tell you, hey, don't get stuck here. Come on. And he will chalk out the path for you easy. Definitely it's needed.
And there is, I have seen, especially here in Eastern, I have seen from my master's process that step by step, very means it's not that it's not that in the beginning I have to trust my guru. It is true that I have to trust, because suppose you want to go to swimming, learn swimming, no, you cannot say, let me learn swimming and then I'll go to water. It's not possible. You need that trust that, okay, this coach is a very amazing coach. And even if I'm drinking water, going out of breath, but I have trust that I will be alive and I learn swimming. And suddenly one moment you float and you realize that, wow, you have learned swimming. So in I think in every path in life, this trust is needed. And then logic comes later. Once you learn swimming, and then you all know, I now breathing in this pattern. That's why this buoyancy or whatever they call in science, is pushing me over that. All these things you feel, but ultimately you need someone to hold your hand and give you that assurance that come. And this is what extremely needed for going through this, the crossing the turbulence of mind. I have seen Nobel laureate, I have seen big intelligence people getting depressed in the court of fighting mode. They know that they should not do it, but they are doing it.
There is nobody to pull them out. And how do you know that this is your guru? This is the question we get, like, how do I know? See, how do you know you are not hungry? When you are fulfilled, right? When this question will not even come, is this my guru? Then you know.
So the counter questions that I get is, what is a guru? I mean, this old guy with a beard and robes, so many people following him around. Why do I need to go there? You mentioned about learning chemistry, you mentioned about learning swimming. So when people even don't know what they are trying to learn, for which they need a master. So what is that thing that you need a master for, or what is a guru?
Yeah. So as Banani says that if you want to learn physics, if you want to learn chemistry, you need a teacher. Okay. Now, if you want to learn life, that you might know that I should behave like that. The enlightened people used to behave like that, all these things. But when you see a master in front of you, what is that called? Exuberating all this quality in whether you see this is what stillness is. Then you realize, I want to be still like him or her. And then it's so much love around, so much naturalness. Like you see a kid, no? Why people want to be with kid? They can just watch a YouTube video of a kid. It does not work. You have to go with a kid and spend time. Exactly, being guru is like that. You read YouTube, this thing, no. You need to be with guru and then you get it. Otherwise, so many
not necessarily also that you are seeking. There are two ways you can find a guru. Of course, your time is right. That is in the global space. But one type of people seek, and one type of people just realize much later that they found it. Like, for example, in our case only, Shivana is a very spiritual seeker from day zero. He grew up in a very spiritual family and all that, and I come from a completely different background.
Can you tell us about your origin story? You were scientists before or spiritual seekers before?
I'm a hardcore scientist. My life had two motto: Nobel Prize, and my role model was Sharadama. So I had...
Who is she?
Sharadama is the wife of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who is the guru of Swami Vivekananda. But she had so much love for everybody. Even after Thakur Ramakrishna left his body, the whole family was together, of his disciples were together because of Sharadama. So I felt like somebody like her is something can be my role model. And at the same time, Madam Kudi. So this is how I grew up. I had no interest. I had a lot of interest in knowledge of outer world.
Which madam?
Madam Curie. He's the Nobel laureate who discovered some elements and got Nobel Prize. So she used to make me very inspired. And I topped my school, I topped my college, gold medalist, Presidency College, Calcutta, went to IIT Kanpur, and then went to New York to do my PhD with very, very top scientist, father of my field. So in the whole journey, there was not a space of seeking. But universe has its own plan. The sudden transition from a big family. I have a very big joint family in India, big friend circle in IIT Kanpur, and I land in New York alone. And this emptiness suddenly opened up so many things in me. And that is universe's plan. Suddenly you wonder, okay, I checklisted all my things, what I wanted to do at the age of 23. Now what? And I don't see that much glory, glamour in my life. I'm still miserable. I'm still anxious. I'm still depressed time to time. What about me? What about me? Where do I go from here? There was nobody to guide that.
For me, it was a different story. When I was at the age 10, my aunt used to give me prasadam from a temple every day. And one day I realized that one evening some doctors came and something happens and I didn't know. And next day people are taking her in India, to the cremation ground. And so she's going. And I thought, what is this? So where they are taking her, she will not give me prasadam, the thing from tomorrow, or and she is not speaking body. Then I didn't know what day it is, and nobody told me. And then I realized, oh, this is what happens to people. Then what is the purpose? Then I asked, where is she? Because they burned the body. No, I said then somebody said, no, she will come back. But I realized that they are giving me lies, and she will not come. Then I realized, what is this? This person having desire, loving relation with me, giving me this, and suddenly she does not exist. Then what is the meaning of doing all these things? It's just matter of time. That time I realized I don't have enough time. People, even in the hospital bed, they think they have a lot of time, but at the age of 10, I realized I don't have enough time. And that is where it's little bit similarity with Dudh House,
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
So, and this, because this is just matter of time, what is the point? And I was not having, I was not okay with the fact that there is no meaning in life, just to have fun for a few years and have sadness, fun, pleasure, pain, and finish. Even I was like, then there is no point. At least let me explore that where is something. And then I was very, time to time it will disturb me, this thought. A school at class, when people are preparing for IIT JEE, that is, I was studying in one of the best school of West Bengal, Ramakrishna Mission, where almost 30-40% people goes to IIT JEE. But at the peak of my preparation, 1 year, I was looking for meaning of life by the Ganges in Belur Math by Vivekananda. And so what is the purpose of giving IIT JEE, all these things? It doesn't make sense to me. I want to know. What is the purpose? Whether I am fragile or I am immortal. Because I was no way going to be satisfied with mortalness. And that was my seeking. If it is there, if it is all mortal, still let me find out if there is a chance of getting immortality. Immortality meaning you exist forever. And then I forgot about it because my dad was retiring and said who will run the family? Okay.
And anybody who went to, people said, what is this? Are you pagal? Are you mad? Is this a question to think about studying?
But that is what I see. Universe heard my prayer, my restlessness. So after 10 years from now, then I studied and all these things. But time to time it will be little bit there, that restless. But it was covered by the society. I have that. It's unfortunate for some people. These questions come it comes at one time.
Comes at?
For all people, these questions actually comes. I have asked almost 1,000 to 100, 10,000 people. They say,
different age groups.
Different age group. And they say, but they get covered and society is very good in covering it. And people are, your friends will stamp it, "Tu pagal hai kya?" in Hindi, in English, "Are you mad? Let's have fun, go to party."
So when was it when you discovered that this is my purpose?
That's not my choice. That's why the universe choice. I was in age 23 when I had no idea that I forgot about that question. But when I went to New York City from IIT Kanpur, I became a little alone because in India hostel you have masti. Masti means a lot of joy. At 12 we are having tea party in the night. Because when there are a lot of friends, there is a chance that your true quest might be covered. That real questions you ask in life, friends are good, but they can snatch away the real questions. Sometimes when you are alone, the real questions pops up when you're face to face with your own mind. So being alone is not bad. Being lonely is bad. But who can be alone? They can never be lonely, you know? So I was in between loneliness, but now I can be alone for years or months. And that's where in New York, by chance, on a Buddha Purnima day,
Oh.
I first met my master, means he first met me. He came to my university.
Who?
You have heard about Ravi Shankar ji, Sri Ravi Shankar, one knows. He was invited in Columbia University by all the professors and a lot of researchers. And without knowing, I saw an Indian guy is coming, Ravi Shankar. For me, Ravi Shankar means the sitar player, from being Bengal. But this is a different Ravi Shankar. Let me just go and meet him. Because I was missing Indian. So my purpose was just to see another Indian friend. Because I had no idea. But that day, I just went and sat. There were around 500 professors in front, and he just came. I thought like big people, and he just came, and he's so natural in front of everybody. Like every body is so relaxed. Every part of the body, not body, every cell is so relaxed, and people are asking, like the question you asked, that was the first question professor shoot him. Is there a God? And then he took one chocolate. There was a chocolate in front of him, and then wrapped. Take the wrap out of the chocolate and put the chocolate in his mouth. And they say, like, if I eat the chocolate, then only I know how it tastes. Next question. And then some people are, there is so much problem, but why you are so happy in the, people are dying. That time actually there are all the time there is some problem.
Just before 1 year, 9/11 happened. So this is
in New York City, there are people who are terrified in New York City, and and people say, why you are so happy when there is people are having trouble in life? There is if you are still happy in the trouble time, there is a chance you can make other people happy. If you are already depressed in the trouble time, there is no chance that you will pull them up. You will go into depression together. You getting it? So that day, I just met him for 15 minutes, and without knowing whether, and then I went to my cubicle, all American friends, and I don't know what happened. Suddenly tears started rolling down, and I cried a little longer that day. Means after long time, long cry, just for 5 hours. And my American friends were saying, Sui, you want water? I said, no, let me cry. People say that when universe meets you, first time that he will guide you through that ultimate goal of being one with the universe. When you meet your guru, that the tears rolls down. I have heard in many, but that time I had no idea about all these things. That day I ran, I searched Ravi Shankar, who is it? And then it was Buddha Purnima in the evening, New York City, 2,000 people event. I got that last but 2,000 people event, 2 tickets left. I got that ticket. And the American lady said, you were very lucky.
Wow. So you have had Buddha play a big role in your life. I mean, discovering death at the age of 10 and finding a guru on Buddha Purnima.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, and all these things. I like Buddha in the sense, he said, some people said that he was such a genuine seeker that even in spite of all the, for 6 years, he was like finding, but when you are a genuine seeker, universe responds to you. And so he has seen all the part of the life. One is in a family, then
wealth, abundance,
and that didn't make any sense. But after he got enlightenment, he came back, So that's why it says that before enlightenment, an woodcutter cuts wood. And after enlightenment, the woodcutter also cuts the wood. But how he cuts wood changes. So what people do, you cannot say how they are. People can be just simple doing job, but how they do things tells how deep and how realized they are.
How do they do it?
Only you do it and you will know it. And that's why I say. And everybody has a different way to reach that goal. And that's why I say, don't be, be honest to yourself. Then you will find the truth.
You can fool the whole world, but don't fool yourself.
If you are restless inside, don't try to cover and logically say, I am doing good. No. go to the rooftop sky and say, give me away. I'm just looking. Getting it? Then you are the seeker, and the universe will come to you in the form of your guru, anything, a event or person.
So, Baninidhi, you were also at the same conference?
No. That last 2 ticket he mentioned, no? Remaining, maybe the last one was for me, but I was not there. Because I had little bit more struggle to go through. So I just told no at the,
So, you both were 23 years old, New York.
we did our IIT Kanpur studies together. He was in physics, I was in chemistry.
You had met before, you knew
Yes.
each other
Yeah,
before.
But not as a partner or fiance or girlfriend, boyfriend. We are good friends.
Just another friend in the campus. And when we came to New York, we used to meet once a year, twice a year, because he was in uptown Columbia, I was downtown NYU. So once in a while, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like that. But then something happened in my life when this loneliness about family going away, and then something triggered. I was a workaholic. You know, successful becomes workaholic. I was like that. I was covering all my emptiness, late night work in the lab, study. And in that time, I think universe was so compassionate to see my haywire situation. It gave me a little tough time in my life. And wise ones are those who seek and they find, and Budhus are those they struggle and find. So 1 month I had to come back to India in the middle of my THT, my father going through a lot of health issues. And my father was the closest thing, like my guru, my guide, my love of life, everything was my father. And then when he was going through a terminal disease, I thought that's it. He is not going to survive. And I stayed with him, with my whole family in the hospital, cancer hospital for 1 month, looking at people who are going to die any minute, because cancer patients, they have one thing different than us. They know their expiry date.
Oh.
We also have, but we don't realize. We think we are for here forever and we have the right to worry. They are going to die, and I don't see that in their face. When I came back from that 1 month of too much struggle in India, but inside something felt that all is well. I don't know what. And actually I have done the Sudarshan Kriya course before. Somehow. The reason is him. He made me do the
But
course.
she never used to
But
practice.
I never
In
used to
IIT?
practice. No, in New York. After he attended
I did
their
not do
talk,
any spiritual practice before. After meeting him on Buddha Purnima Day, then I said, okay, he's
Okay.
a cool guy, an amazing. Let me see, explore the breathing technique he had. Millions of people had done in the. Then I did, and then after
So
1 month,
I at that time a lot of health issues. I was very successful and very stressful. Like any disease you tell, I used to take 23 medication at the age of 23.
Wow.
And when I did Sudarshan Kriya, being a sincere student, I do everything 100%. But I had this repulsion of going to follow up, running after Gurudev, going for advanced course. I can see Shubhina is going for advanced courses after advanced course. I'm like, it's good for you. I would register him for the advanced course, but I would not go. I would gift him celebrating silence, and I would not read myself. Like that it was going. But then when I had this situation in my life, when I was with my father, something felt inside that all is well. And I used to consider myself emotionally very weak. That what happened in that 1 month, it was all my spiritual journey started there.
So ultimately, it has to do again with the death.
Death.
And when I came back, this question occurred in my mind is, they are going to die, still they can smile. And I have everything in my life, and my father is also declared healthy. He doesn't have to do any more treatment. He just needs checkup. Then what is that is stopping me to be happy right now? When will I be happy? This question first time came 2 years after doing the course. Because now I'll see in my students, I'm an art of living teacher also. I see some people do the course and disappear, and then they come back much later. Maybe they are my category. Not the wise one, the Buddha one, but still, universe is so compassionate that it brought me back to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then my journey started.
I had one question. You said about meeting Guru, and we are discussing about what is a Guru. You are from generations where Gurudev was more accessible. He used to come physically for the show. But for the new people who are going to do the course now, they might just see him on TV or in satsang or from a distance. How do they feel that sense of belongingness? Because then again, it becomes as good as having a photo on the wall.
Yeah, for me it was like that because I was in New York. Gurudev came many times, but I decided in my mind, time has not come. I'm not going to come meet him. But when I met him 2 years later, trust me, it really felt that every word he's saying, I know. And I thought at that time that it is because of Shivina, because he used to tell me a lot of Gurudev's knowledge, lot of wisdom. But much later I realized that you really don't need the physical body to get connected. His knowledge, his kriya, his meditation and his advanced courses, everything is him. Guru is not the body. And we used to meet him once in a year, maybe New York or other places. But that never is, and now I can see him more often in India, like every satsang and all that. But the quality of connection, I feel, is the same. And I have heard stories of some Russian teachers who have become Art of Living teacher without actually having met Gurudev ever in their lives.
Oh.
First time they are coming to Silver Jubilee 2006 in Bangalore. First time they are meeting Gurudev, all in devotion. And somebody asked, then how did you manage? How did you become teacher? They said every time we are in struggle, we used to offer it to Gurudev before going to sleep, and in dream he would come and solve our problem. Being a scientist, this makes no sense to me at that time. Like, what is this? But then later, when it became my experience in different situations, then I was like, okay.
How do you explain bhakti or devotion?
So, like devotion means matured love. So, if you see that in life, without love, you cannot even act anything properly. If you love cricket match or love a football, you can watch like that dude. Because behind love, if you have love, then your actions are so smooth and so much energy behind it, isn't it? So, bhakti is a mature love you are looking for in life. Why? Because all other love you are looking is basically temporary. But bhakti is like falling in love with the universe.
With the unknown,
With
actually.
the unknown. Because, if you suppose fall in love with your girlfriend or boyfriend, then actually the boyfriend and girlfriend is triggering the love in you. Then you close your eyes, you feel. But love is not happening in boyfriend-girlfriend body. It's happening in you. You like someone's face, you look at it and then something happens in you. So if you see that whole universe is a trigger to experience love inside. And then you say, like, who is triggering the love? Then what? Then you say, like, okay, that person is triggering love. But what is the love? But that is coming inside you. And then you go inside and you realize that there is no two in this universe. For me, many people say, tell me what are the two benefits you get most. People say stress-free life, my blood pressure has reduced, my blood sugar is, that is also good because you need a healthy body. But I told you, for my thing is like the very hardcore thing. I am not okay with mortal thinking, 70 years, have fun and die. So for me, like a sense of immortality, like you exist. And so the death will not snatch away. So we know all the things you have. You'll continue in this flow of from Big Bang to the who knows how many evolution of universe will go to, but in different form. You might forgot that, but you got the glimpse that you are there. So no problem. That is number one. You are not scared of death. Number two is I feel very connected with everybody. The more I did my practice, every eyes before will be like hostile to me. Oh, who is judging me? Oh my God, I don't like it. Now, even if I go back to US and for my research work, before I was not that much connected. But now after after doing practices, meditation, I feel so much connected with all the American professors, even if they don't talk to me, and they have no choice now. I see that when you feel connected, that person has no choice. That is bhakti.
And it's not about a person, it's life.
It's life.
You see that reflection in every being. Like a puppy comes to you, you see they're unconditionally in love with you. Can you experience that for life? That is bhakti.
I really found this amazing explanation from you, because when you think about devotion or bhakti, it's only towards God or a statue in the temple. But what you're saying is to all creation, to everything, love for everything, basically, right? Finding the belongingness in everything.
Because I told you before, no, the every whole creation has become you. So there is no two, not in the temple. So if God is in the temple, God is also in the trees, in the person, whatever you call it, and you. So that's what that margin is.
You know, I'm feeling emotions in my heart right now, because I have felt the same before starting my art learning journey, and now as I'm teaching and talking to so many people, I feel that sense of belongingness when I look into the eye, or I cannot express it, but it's just like so much love. Like almost we have already known each other. There's no judgment. You just come, you meet, like that. And when they say I feel lonely, I'm not able to relate to them. I had been there, but now I don't feel lonely at all, even if I'm alone wherever I am.
You can be alone, but not alone.
Just a moment of their face, thought about their face, it heals you, it uplifts you.
That's why love,
It's a blessing.
bhakti is a relation with yourself. Deep inside, if you can relate to yourself, that relation, that is self or divine or nature, then that is bhakti. Then that self is everywhere, no?
Wow.
Bhakti is a beautiful combination of love and respect.
Mm.
If you love only, then after some close distance, you start to take that person for granted or take that object for granted. But if you have little respect, then you never take love for granted.
Mm.
So that's why even in a husband-wife relationship, if you keep that love and respect together, that is divine love, that is bhakti. And that will never become rotten, pungent, jealousy, greed, anger, all the offshoots of love will not happen. If you can keep sanitizing your love with little respect. This is like a sanitization.
And bhakti can be totally one-sided.
Yeah.
But love needs both-sided thing. Bhakti is so beautiful that it can be, may people say, no, I am a victim of one-sided love. But bhakti celebrate one-sided love. And I tell you one day, like, it's like a child was going to school, and child was looking forward to the school bus towards his friends. But mother, from the window, looking at the child even doesn't know that mother is looking at her, but looking at the child going to the school, this thing, mother is feeling so much happy, oh, my child is going to the school. You know, the child doesn't know, but mother is totally in fulfillment. So, for me also sometimes it happens, even with Banani also. Sometimes I saw she is doing something with 100%, making people, trying to make people confident कि अरे कुछ नहीं होगा life में. Means like this spiritual path you stay and you'll be all right. I see, and then I am not talking to her. I am not in front. I just looking at her from. Yeah, I feel that kind of say, wow, she's living. No, then as if you feel कि you are only doing that because there is oneness. So if there is no demand in this maturity, but still little bit expectation is okay. The only give. It cannot be explained.
Anyway, what is there to give? You are receiving so much. No? You just receive. It's like a child's play.
Beautiful. Amazing. You are studying subjects that are completely opposite of each other. From big to big, dark matter and the space and big giant objects in light years. And you are studying tiniest nanoparticles. I would like to ask you can you tell more about your research and what are some key insights and fun facts that you find in the work that you have done?
Sure.
Okay, I can tell. It's basically for me. I am so lucky that for my research is also my spiritual practices, because when you think about dark matter,
what is the topic of your research?
my topic of the research is called cosmology. Cosmology is the study to understand how universe evolved, whether universe got at all created or it existed forever, how planets, how galaxies, so many billions of galaxies we see today in the sky, then there was nothing in the beginning. How they appear and how they are going to disappear, and how this planet form and what will happen, the fate of the universe. Will it stay forever or it will again be gone? because generally people say whatever has taken birth, they has to go. Even that the sun will also die one day, our earth will die. So many people believe that our universe will also go into nothingness. And all these study with scientific data, understanding, the universe got, we know that Big Bang happened 14 billion years back, but we can see the evidences coming from those time, little bit later, baby universe. The light is still coming to us from there, and you can see, the star you see is actually, suppose you were seeing a star 1 million light year away. In our galaxy, from one end to another end is 1 million light year, means light takes 1 million year to come. So the star you are seeing today is actually 1 million year old. Getting it?
Yeah.
Actually 1 million year means that time human being was not there in this planet. So you are seeing, so that like that, if you go further, you can see the story of our universe. So in some way it is the story of our universe called cosmos.
What was there before Big Bang?
And nobody knows. That is a research topic. And Stephen Hawking has done some work. In fact, I had a podcast with Stephen Hawking's another collaborator who wrote last 5-6 papers, scientific discovery paper, that they gave a proposal that how universe came from nothing. So you can say nothing.
You also mentioned from the start of Big Bang till the end.
Of our visible universe.
Yeah.
No, visible means what has birth and what will die. But that doesn't mean that there was nothing before or after.
I have seen Gurudev discarding the Big Bang theory completely.
So people, nowadays there is some questions about Big Bang. So Big Bang, many people think that Big Bang means all the beginning started. But many people also in science also have studied that there is eternally, there are many Big Bang. So it's like a vast multiverse. Universe are popping up. If that is the case, then what he said is exactly matches with that. So once people say there is only one Big Bang, and then many scientists also are starting to doubt it. Getting it? So for that, I would suggest one has to go a little bit into the depth of the subject. Otherwise, you might get into a wrong information.
But is this just information, or is this just imagination, or is there evidence for that also?
So nowadays some evidence coming that if our understanding of that Big Bang, there is some trouble to explain few things. I'm not going to the details. So that's why people are doubting the Big Bang or thing. But there can be a multiverse theory also came up where there is not one Big Bang. It is like an eternal, like a wave or like a water where bubbles are from Buddha. That is a well-known theory arising from string theory, that multiverse appears each universe. There are billions of such universe. So then there is no concept of one Big Bang.
Gurudev mentioned spherical thinking and linear thinking. Can you elaborate on that, and what does he mean by spherical?
Because spherical thinking is it can accommodates the opposite. Because what is the beginning of a sphere or circle? If you go, and the end point of the circle is also the beginning. So you say end is the beginning. But linear thinking will never like it. What do you mean end and beginning are the same? Beginning is one point, end is another point, but they are the same. So that means the logic most of the time relies on the linear logic. We call it linear logic theory. Linear means if this is true, then this cannot be true. But in spherical thinking, the opposites also comes true. And that is what happens in depth of consciousness, and which are linearly opposite. You think they are actually coexisting in the universe. Even some scientific theory is called duality. Their duality means one is another one, but they are actually the same description of the reality. And I'm not going into depth.
Can you give an example?
It's a little bit hard. It's one scientist called Manda Sena in Princeton discovered that whatever you see in one reality is in 4 dimension. It's completely same explanation can be done from a 5 dimension of a completely opposite theory. I'm not. It's very technical, so I'm not going to.
Physical interpretation is not that obvious because our five senses cannot perceive that.
Perceive.
Only mathematics.
And
can.
another thing is,
Yeah, that really confuses me because in this quantum field theory and all these, I'm not able to quite understand. It is there and not there at the same time. What do you mean by that?
no, it is the quantum field theory is little bit. It's related, but it's different. When you say it is there or not there, is quantum field theory. Quantum field theory is proven fact. It is there.
No, what he's asking is some object
Huh.
or electron.
Yeah.
Something.
That is like.
I answered. to
That you go to any YouTube video, you'll see quantum field says that matter does not exist. It's only the field of energy which pops up like waves, propagate, so generates, then operate for some times and destroy it. G-O-D, God, generator, operator and destroy. Exactly, that is what exactly quantum field theory operates with the operator theory. It generates, creates, and through some operator it annihilates.
Can
So
you-
it is there. That's how the whole particles theory has come. So many Nobel Prize has been given. That particle actually does not exist. It's all energy, is field. But that's why I say five senses knowledge can be misleading. You see that particle exists, these exist, but actually they don't exist. So beyond intellect, beyond senses, five senses knowledge is one step higher, is the evidence-based intellectual knowledge. And I feel beyond intellectual knowledge is the knowledge of the consciousness. And one day, science is actually moving towards the many top scientists are moving into that case, whether there is a all-pervading consciousness, because they cannot explain that from your brain consciousness arising, completely failing. So brain does not create consciousness. Many top scientists are saying consciousness is there.
Well, the next question is, what is consciousness?
So that's also like asking the same question, what is God? If you say that I exist, I am conscious, that is also consciousness, because you feel it. Because you also are asking me questions, what is consciousness? So somebody in you is asking this question, no? That is conscious. Otherwise, if you are sleeping now, deep sleep, slumber, or if you have never taken birth, can you ask me this question? Now the next question has come, that consciousness, that feel of I, that me, is it just this temporary or it can exist beyond time? That is the next question. That is what scientists are asking. Whether it is like a all-pervading quantum field and you are just a temporary wave in that and you'll march. But once you march back after your death, the field remains.
Yeah, what happens after death? Where does the consciousness go after death?
That this kind of question you should ask Gurudev or Buddha and all these things. Because even if I tell, means I have some experience, but I'm not yet there to totally tell you what happens after death. But after you die, you'll definitely know it. Okay. You have to just have patience. Take patience, because this will happen to you also.
Yeah.
But he wants to know before.
He wants to know before, then you will decide whether to die or not. Okay.
So coming back to your research, what are some fun facts and key findings from cosmology that you have come across?
So one fun fact is when I started my research 20 years back, or a little bit before also, people used to think that 96% of the universe is known, 4% is unknown. And within few years, we'll find out what is that 4%. Okay? Because they didn't know about the dark matter and dark energy, which is 96%. Now, whole visible universe is only 4%. And they thought there is some problem that I have to understand how visible matter, all this thing got created and everything. But now, 10 years after that, people got confirmation about dark matter. And then people say, okay, then 30% of the universe has to be unknown. And no, we have to find it. But now, after 20 years of research, I realized that with PhD and doing a lot of research, 96% is unknown. So as we are going into the depth of the research, it's fun that more unknown is increasing.
How do you know it's unknown if you cannot see it, if it is dark?
Okay, that evidence-based, that's why the gravity has access to every world. So even if dark matter is some hidden world particle, you have seen Interstellar movie where that gravity can talk to everything. Gravity is like you cannot stop gravity communicating with it. Gravity is something else. So dark matter, even if we don't know what they are made up of, but we know that they are making our stars in our galaxy move actually. Dark matter is like a halo of like a sphere, and our visible, you have seen in this galaxy, our that beautiful our this galaxy, that is only tiny percent. It's like it. Outside it is a unknown sphere which is actually holding all the visible matter. If you remove dark matter, this will disrupt into nothingness. So it is the unseen which is
Governing the scene.
governing the scene. And like that, there is dark energy 70%, which is, I'll not talk about it. It takes another podcast. So I research on dark energy and dark matter, but it's something like our whole, this room, whole universe is filled with an unseen, all-pervading 0-point energy. Means you cannot destroy that energy. That is the basis of universe. Means you go down, 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 then you see that there is an energy there. And we are actually on top of it.
Does dark matter travel faster than light?
No, dark matter is like matter. No, nothing faster than travel. Like it's like a matter. But that thing that you have seen, that velocity of light, you were saying, no, give me an example of it. It is contradictory. When Einstein he proposed that velocity of light is constant. It's very illogical.
You think light is not constant?
No, that time when he said, many people think what he is talking about. But that is the truth. It means, suppose you drive car or drive bike, no? Suppose I am driving a car towards you with 10 kilometer velocity, you are coming also fast. Then I will see that our relative velocity is getting added, 10 plus 10, 20. That's why you see when a train passing by in the track, you see the train is going like whoosh, like 200 kilometers, because you have 100 kilometer, train has 100. So you feel like the train is moving back with 200 kilometers. That is like the whole world is relative. But for light, it is not the case. It
doesn't add up.
Even if you are moving like a velocity of light, another particle is coming in the velocity, you will see that it's still coming to C. It does not get added like C plus C is equal to 2C. So abnormal of our relative existence of all the car driving, plane driving, all these things. But that is the truth. And from that only the E equals to mc square came up at the atom bomb and all this. Then this from one assumption that velocity of light is constant, you can derive by simple arithmetic that matter is energy. E equals to mc square. Isn't it amazing? That is the beauty of science.
And that did not come up logically. It is pure intuition.
Oh.
The velocity of light is constant. No logic behind it. It's illogical. But that is truth. That's why I said.
Do you think it can be disproved also?
No, it's proved. The velocity of light is constant. But whether something can move faster than light or not, who knows?
Time will only tell.
Time will tell.
Okay. Coming to you, Bananidhi, about nano, what is your research about?
So I work with DNA, but most of us think DNA is biological substance. Yes, it is true. We are made of DNA. It is our blueprint of life. How you look, how your parents, how your future generation, everything is imprinted. But my work is more of using DNA to be made for devices like drug delivery, biosensor, because it is biocompatible, so you can use a lot of things with the body fluids, body markers, protein, and all that things are for sensors. So DNA nanotechnology is a field that was, in fact, my supervisor is the father of DNA nanotechnology, who started this field exactly the same year when Gurudev started Sudarshan and Atopini. So both my gurus started their science and spiritual foundation at a similar time. And both are very bearded men. So two bearded men shaped my life totally, one in science and in spirituality.
So are you making nano robots?
Yes, correct. So we make DNA nanorobots, which are self-dependent, and it can work inside the body also, outside the body also. So these are like programmable DNA devices. And these are not gene modification. I am not working with gene modification, but there are a lot of beautiful secrets in this. For example, see, you and me are very similar. In fact, all our DNA in humankind is like more than 99.99% similar, because we have trillions of ATGC DNA codes. But even a small change in the sequence or small change in the epigenetic marker can make me very different from my identical twin. We have 100% same genetic code, but I can still be different from my identical twin because of my epigenetic changes. So these are fascinating. And when we say that we keep these two identical twins in different environment, different biological behavior, different lifestyle, healthy, someone eating bad food, not meditating, not doing exercise, they will have a completely different effect on their body mind complex. So this is very fascinating, and it is epigenetic changes, and that can pass on from generation to generation. It is fascinating.
And the practice of Sudarshan Kriya, the breathing technique Gurudev has invented, there is research that it changes the epigenetics.
Markers.
So that's why you, even if you genetically supposed to be angry, you can get rid of it.
Can you dive a bit deeper into that? How Sudarshan Kriya changes you at the genes or DNA level?
You know, there is research done in University of Oslo, Dr. Fari's lab, and he has shown that hundreds of genes are either upregulated or downregulated after Sudarshan Kriya practice. And what it means that when not all genes are functioning. Some are sleeping, some are active. So based on what gene is turned on or off, your body can function differently. The diseases like cancer can be suppressed. Oxidative DNA damage can be suppressed. You don't age as much as you should be, because with our age, our chromosome telomere shortens. But if you are doing meditation, Sudarshan Kriya especially, with telomere elongates, which is very fascinating. Like, these are amazing science facts, gene facts. These researchers are more coming up. Like, across the world, so many labs are doing independent research on meditation, on Sudarshan Kriya. And our institute in Shah Institute of Advanced Research, also a lot of research is happening on this. It's fascinating. We are controlled, we think we are controlled by our gene, but our epigenetic markers can change our fate, and it can pass. There is research which says a mother who is behaving very abnormally during pregnancy, suppose not taking care of her body, and even too much screen time, that also impacts the baby inside. So lot of things can pass on.
Wow. What are you most curious about right now?
I am really curious about when humanity will know that will move towards this, that there is what is the purpose, real purpose of life, and they embrace it. And I feel that one day in the education system, these things will also be part of it, little bit, that this inquiry, like this science also, that we don't talk about in the education system. So I think when humanity will be curious that this is not enough, the way society is moving, and there has to be a drastic change in the education system and thought process. That is, I am really praying that humanity should come more to meditate, and I'm curious when it will happen.
What about you? What are you curious about?
For me, I just want, I don't know if it will be possible, that at least people should care about each other, and keep your me and me desire little bit behind, and think about others, so that the fights between the nations, fight between the countries, communities, and fight between the people stops. And I think that is only possible.
So you are
with
curious
meditation.
about
When will it happen?
Oh, when?
If
So
I
don't
will
know.
see it in my lifetime. See, I know that by my science I can make people happy two generations later, by the time my nanomedicine will come into practice. But when I am alive, I can see people happy meditating in front of me. So this has to, like, I want many more like me, who are doing lot of things in their life, at the same time stretch their hand to make people happy.
And meditate.
Meditate.
This question is for you. Material world, spirituality and seva. What are your thoughts on these, and are they different? Do they support each other?
100% in the material world. Do everything that you can do to make it better. And without spiritual practices and meditation, that is impossible. It's like running in one leg. And you are going to tire yourself out, and you are going to burn yourself out. So take help from spirituality.
What is divine diary?
I have one. And it helps me two things. One is to clarify my thoughts. Every night I write down what I have to do tomorrow, and I check it. And second is, when I meet people around me, I put their name down in that diary. And with that prayer, that one day they experience themselves. And they learn to meditate.
And
Okay.
why it is called divine diary? Because you write down what you have to do, but in between the doing, you be in the present moment. That is
Divine.
because you know that divine is doing, everything is happening in the universe, getting it. So you don't worry. Otherwise, people before reaching lab office, there is office mentally. And the birds are chirping, clouds are calling, hey, look at me. But people have so much are lost in doing. But divine diary is like, you know what you have to do, but in between doing, you experience being. That is why it is called divine diary.
You wrote a song, Antevasi.
It's an album.
What is the Antevasi album?
So, after doing meditation and Sudarshan Kriya, I became, music started coming to me. And first I learned guitar, and then I started composing also. It came. So one song came. There are many songs came, 7, 8. I'm recording. So Antevasi means, it's a Sanskrit word, who lives in the heart of the universe. Means you are doing everything
In the material world.
in the material world, but your heart is in the something ethereal, means
Untouched.
untouched. So like that, for me it is my life. Means I don't get affected by this thing that much, because somehow I am locked in that world, and that is Antevasi. You are residing that but acting in the world. And that residence, finding that residence is spirituality.
Wow. Do you ever disagree with each other? And on what topics?
This is the third question. You said only 2 questions.
In fact, in all the topics except for when it comes to for somebody else. About each other, we have a lot of opinions, a lot of agreements, disagreements. But when we together do something to contribute, there is a lot of agreement on that.
But our disagreement doesn't lead to disharmony.
Because we are locked inside.
So because you might have, everybody has different opinion. So it needs skills to not let it go into the disharmony. Because it's okay. How can everybody have same opinion like you? And it will be such a boring, terrible world if everybody has same opinion like you. So we disagree, but it should not be disharmony. Sometimes I said, okay, let's do what you think. Then I said, okay, yesterday I did what you thought. Now today you do what I am thinking. You come in my... No?
It's also evolution, I think. With the time, we have learned to give preference to the right things and giving peace the highest preference, peace and harmony.
When you realize that hum sab ek air or one, then disharmony can be, disagreement can be accommodated, because koi problem nahi, there is no problem.
And this is like a microcosm of harmony, disharmony, and it ripples outside.
But we don't have disagreement with our own mind.
Oh.
Then we meditate. First thing we do is forget about the world, forget about Shubhina also, let me meditate.
Disagreeing with your own mind is doubting yourself.
Or the thoughts, disagreeing means mind is telling one thing and you are fighting with it. That is the real fighting we should avoid.
Example?
Example, see, mind says ki, you are finished, you are in a tough life situation, and you know that you should not fight with someone, or you should not be angry with someone, or you are struggling to forget someone, and mind is showing his or her face again and again. Maybe somebody has gone through breakup, and you say, get rid of that face from me. But mind says, no, look at it. Look at it. This is like fighting. We are in tremendous... most of the human beings are having that fight. Mind is saying something and they want to get rid of it, but mind is not letting it. Generally, we have a way to get rid of it very fast, or we just allow mind to do whatever it wants. We don't believe it. We use our mind. That is another beautiful definition. You are asking for definition. No, mind using you is bondage. You using mind is freedom and enlightenment. Getting it? And let the mind speak. But when you want to use it, which thoughts to act, which thoughts to ignore, brings peace, clarity, and freedom. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Any final words for the audience? It's so good to have you both, and so many more episodes can be done on specific topics for multiple hours. But it was so great you took out time and came. Any final words or thoughts for the viewers?
Because this final thing is very tricky. Because it's like this is the final word, then they will also ask what does it mean. So it never becomes. So don't go for a final thing. Final means it's an end. Life is eternal. There is no final, only semi-final and quarter-final. Okay. So,
And from my side, don't discard anything without experiencing it. If you feel it is not what, then drop it. But first, don't discard it without knowing what it is. That is true scientific temperament.
after hearing Barani's thing, I think I have a final thing. Okay. Whatever you do. But finally, you will realize yourself that is you are meant to be that, because universe is meant for that. And universe sometimes forgets itself, have fun and misery, and then universe again remember. It's a long forgotten memory. And that is self-discovery. So keep that in mind.
And Guru is a mirror. Guru is a mirror to show you what you are looking outside is you. All in you.
Thank you, Jai Gurudev.
We recorded a album called Antebasi. So the first song is the word we use called Radhe or Radha. So it's a beautiful word. It doesn't mean any some god or anything. Some tradition it says, but actual Sanskrit meaning of it is Radha means rivers of Dhara. Dhara means flow. And Radha is asking what is the source of the flow. So it again boils down to the same thing. The life is flowing, you are born, school, higher secondary, marriage, job, marriage, kid, grandkid, die. So again it comes to death. I don't know why it comes to death again and again. Maybe when you understand death, you will know life more and understand everything. And Radha is, what is the source? From where these thoughts are coming. And when you one day you sit in meditation and seek the source of the thoughts, you merge into that silence. So that is Antebasi. Antebasi, first song, Radha. So we'll give a glimpse today, but actual recording is in the Spotify. You can watch this. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe. Radhe, Gopala, Radhe. Radhe, Gopala, Radhe. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe. Radhe, Gopala, Radhe. Radhe, Gopala, Radhe. Narayana, Hari Narayana, Narayana, Hari Narayana, Narayana, Hari Narayana, Narayana, Hari Narayana. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe.